guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back if you're returning, welcome if you're new. Hi, hello, I hope you're all doing well. Today I thought I would start a little reading vlog for you. I hope it's not too long. I mean, I always say that and then they're like 50 minutes, so we'll see. But I recently wanted to read a book. Duh. That's what you do when you want to read. And they did have it at my library, however it's at like a different library than my normal local library, and I had a reservation and then it was just taking too long, and I'm a very impatient person. Like if I've got my mind set on something, I need it like right that second. But I downloaded the Kindle sample of it, read it and really enjoyed it, and then the Kindle version is $13 and then I found the physical version is only $14. And I was like, well, I am not paying the same price for just an ebook. So even though I'm pretty sure it was like 3 videos ago I said I wasn't buying any more physical books, I lied. I have brought another one. And this is They Hate Each Other by Amanda Woody. And I love this book in terms of I love the actual physical book. It is beautiful. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but like the size difference, it's a bigger book and I really love the fact that it's bigger. Like for some reason it's a really good like floppy book, and it's got really good page sizes. So I'm obsessed with the actual book itself and the cover. I mean, the cover is beautiful. These colors are gorgeous. The fact that we have our 2 characters on there, I love it so much. And so yeah, this is the book I brought. And I brought this from Big W. So if any of you guys do live in Australia, I've said it before, but they have a lot of like more newer and popular books coming out that are cheaper. So this was only $14, which is really cheap for a book here. So yeah, if you guys do want to check books out, I would highly recommend their website or just going in store. But this is They Hate Each Other, and I am in love with it. It's so good. This is a high school fake dating romance between our 2 main characters. So we have Dylan and Jonah. And so Jonah, just a sidetrack before I tell you about these characters, I'm really so far loving the fact that I'm about almost like halfway through, that this focuses on them, but it also has a big focus on their families and their friendships. Like it is a romance, but there are other factors involved, not just the romance aspect. And I really like how it's been woven into the story to feel like we're really gaining insight into both of their lives, and not just the romantic aspect but also their friendships, which are really beautiful, and then also their complicated family lives, and I'm loving that. But we're following Jonah, who, this is Jonah. I can show you him. He's got it quite rough in terms of his mum passed away when he was younger, and his dad has been an alcoholic kind of ever since then. Is not involved, is very rarely home, like just really has nothing to do with him and his 2 younger sisters. So he has a younger sister, Michaela, and then another younger sister who is trans, and he's having to look after both of them, provide for their house, like he's working, doing school. Just a lot for anyone to handle, but especially a teenager. Like that is so much pressure, and also just too much, I think, for really anyone who's trying to figure out their own life, let alone having to take care of your siblings and work and try and keep up good grades in school. So that's Jonah, and I love him as a character. He is funny and loud and has such a great personality, but yet also is still struggling with these things and very much keeps it hidden and doesn't want to burden anyone. And so his best friend is Andre, who is another kind of side character that we meet. And then we have Dylan, who his family is a bit complicated. He has his parents, so his mum, she works away kind of, like she's not really there that much. And then his dad, he is from Brazil, and so he owns a Portuguese restaurant, and so he is working there quite a lot. So again, like he doesn't really have his parents are really lovely, but they're not there often, so he kind of doesn't feel that supported. And then there's something with his brother Thomas, which we're kind of unraveling throughout the book. He hasn't passed away, but something happened and he no longer speaks to him, and that's really a big part of his life and just what he's struggling with. And then he does also suffer from panic attacks, and so he's trying to work through that. Loving them, both of them, Jonah and Dylan, are both bisexual, and that's not like a plot. I really like the fact that this book, their sexualities is not the forefront of the plot, and it's not kind of a discussion necessarily around homophobia, which is nice. Like, I think it's always good to have books that do have accurate and very real representations of what coming out can look like for different people, because it is definitely not a fun time for majority of people. However, it is also nice to have some books that that's not the main discussion. It's just like sexuality is just a part of them like anyone else, but we're more focused on them as people and characters, and yes, the things they're struggling with, but more in like the family aspect than anything else. And for Dylan, it is racism and also obviously homophobia. But I really loved the discussion they kind of had where like Jonah thinks that Dylan's life is perfect because his family is more wealthy, and he's like, no, like that's not the case at all, like far from a perfect life. And I like the fact that Jonah is very much like, if I've ever slipped up, I'm sorry, and please continue correcting me so I can keep learning. And I think that's a really important discussion to have around anything regarding minority groups, is just to continue learning and being called out when things that are said are problematic or hurtful. And so I really like that discussion between them. But the main thing we have is Andre, like I said, is Jonah's best friend, and then we have Hannah, who is Dylan's best friend, and they are dating, and Hannah is asexual, which is really cool to get some asexual representation as well. But they're dating, and basically their whole friendship group has been wanting Dylan and Jonah to be together for a very long time, but Jonah and Dylan hate each other. This is like a enemies to lovers, but there's not necessarily like high stakes, or like there's a specific reason they don't like each other. They just kind of have misperceptions of each other and don't like each other for that. And so one night, the opening kind of chapter is them at a party at Dylan's, and Jonah is very drunk and ends up sleeping in Dylan's bed. Nothing happens, but their friends find out about it and are convinced that something did happen. And so they kind of come up with the, how do we get these people off our backs, because they're never going to shut up about us dating. And so they decide to fake date, and I am loving it so far. Like, it's just a really sweet, good romance that isn't just about the romance, but it's just about life in general and being a teenager and just their stories. And I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really glad I decided to pick this book up. So yeah, like so far we've just had like, again, my favorite things, like just like hugs and little kisses and just hand holding and cuddles, and I'm just like melting inside because that's my favorite thing ever. Like, I will take that any day of the week over a smut scene. Like, give me a cuddle scene and I'm good. Like, that's all I need. So yeah, that is currently what I'm reading. I'm loving it. It's just beautiful. And like I said, this book is beautiful. The actual characters, I love their personalities. Like, they're quite different and they match each other really well, even though they do have quite distinct personalities. But I just love it. It's just fun. It's funny. Like, one of the opening lines had me literally crackling because I was literally like, that's me. And I think it was like, where is it? Let me find it. Something about Jonah having pasty skin, and I was like, that's literally me. I had the one with pasty skin. And so yeah, it's just fun, it's just cute, it's just very sweet, and I'm just loving it. So that's what I'm currently reading, and that's what this reading vlog will be mainly about. I have also started reading, let me get it, I Kissed Sarah Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. I'm only about like, I think 5 or 6 chapters into this, like not a lot. and I am enjoying this too. So this one we're following Chloe, who's our main character, and then Sarah, who is our other main character, but we're only kind of seeing the aftermath of the main plot. I don't think Sarah comes in till about like after halfway, so we haven't really seen her and heard from her besides in the little clue she's leaving. But basically this book, we're following Chloe, we're following, well, we don't have their perspectives, but Chloe, Smith and Rory. So Smith is Sarah's boyfriend, Rory is her neighbour, and Chloe is her rival enemy basically. And before Sarah goes missing on prom night, she kisses Rory, kisses Chloe, and then obviously Smith, her boyfriend. And so then they're all trying to find her because she just disappears and no one knows what happens to her. It's not like a murder mystery or anything, like she is alive and well, I believe, but they're just trying to figure out where she's gone to, and she's left these little clues, and so they're all having to work together to find her. And I really like Chloe, our main character. She's really funny, and then Riley and Smith are really funny, and I kind of wish they got together. I'm kind of hoping they do, but this is a sapphic book, so I do know Sarah and Chloe end up together because I have a really bad habit of reading last pages of books. So I do know that, just because I need to prepare myself. Like, don't come for me, but I need to prepare myself in case it's sad. I can't go a whole book knowing I'm going to get a sad ending. So yeah, that's basically what this book is about. Sarah's kind of like the very stereotypical popular girl. This is taking place at like a Christian academy in the South, so she's very much like poster child, like perfect academics, blonde, blue hair, football boyfriend, like dad is senator or something. So very stereotypical. However, she does go missing on prom night, and then we have Chloe, who is queer, who has two mums, is from LA, like very different to this small town, and is very much wanting to go to like New York and get out of here. But then Chloe throws it all off. No, Sarah throws it all off by kissing Chloe. So that is that book. I am also reading that. And then I also am reading three other books. God, I'm so bad. This reading vlog's only going to contain like mainly just they hate each other. But I finished A Taste of Golden Iron, and I really enjoyed that. I didn't do a reading vlog, but I did like a little read with me. I gave that 4 stars. I really enjoyed that. And then I had been reading The King is Dead by Benjamin, I want to say Alvarez. I can't remember the last name, but I'm over halfway through that as well. I got that through the library, so I need to finish that quickly. And I'm really enjoying that. And then also In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I'm just barely started that, so I would rather a physical copy of that, but even though I have just brought one, and I actually just brought another book, I am trying not to buy physical copies, and especially because that's through the library, so I want to try and read free books, like utilize as much as I can, so I'm just going to read it through my library. But I did also just place an order for BTS's Beyond the Story. So if you guys don't know, I'm a massive K-pop fan, but especially BTS. I love them so much. They're just some of my favourite people. I think their music's incredible. I think they're fantastic people, and I love them so much. If you guys don't know anything about them, this book probably wouldn't be for you, but it seems like a really good description and kind of good depiction of what it was like for them in the beginning, because they didn't come from a big company. Like, their company was very poor on bankruptcy level, and they very much had to fight to get to where they are today. So yeah, I'm really excited for that to come. I went to have a look this morning, but it was sold out in all the bookstores near me, so I've ordered that online through Big W as well. If you guys do want to check that book out, they have it. And so I am hoping that comes soon. It should come like next week, and I'm so excited to read it. I think it'll be amazing. All their documentaries have been so good so far, and just very real and honest and vulnerable in their emotions and what their life is like in the spotlight, and how K-pop is just can be very cruel and harsh, and I think that is something they talk about very well and write songs about very well. So I'm really excited for this book. I feel myself tearing up now. I know I'm gonna sob through this book. Like, I've already seen some TikToks of different aspects from the book and I'm just like, oh god, it's gonna be one that makes you cry, which is not, I mean, not hard, but anything to do with them, I'm just like so proud of them that I get emotional about it. But yeah, I've ordered that. This vlog probably won't be super long because I do have some things coming up. I have to go to uni tomorrow, so exciting. And then I'm actually going to Brisbane Friday and Saturday for my birthday, and then Sunday is my birthday, so I'm not sure how much footage I'm going to get, but I would like to get this up for you guys this week. And then I start placement on Monday, so I spoke to you guys about this a few times, but I'm just needing to finish this last semester of uni and then I will be graduating, and then I'll have lots of time for reading. However, this coming semester I'm going to be quite busy, so I want to try and remain consistent in uploading once a week, but if I do miss some, please know that's why. Like, I would much rather be reading and making videos, but I have to do this in order to graduate. So yeah, it's just a little update and discussion around what I've been reading. What have I been watching? I love updating you guys on what I watch, even though you probably don't care. I love doing it. I've mainly just been watching YouTube actually. I've just discovered Brad Evans, his reaction channel to TV shows, and I love watching people's reactions to TV shows. Him and Nick says Spooky, I can't remember his exact name, but his has been really funny, so I've been watching their reactions to different shows that I love. Like, I just watched Brad's reaction to Heartstopper and it was so funny, and I love watching people's reactions to Heartstopper, especially because the new season is coming out in literally like 3 weeks. Like, I'm so excited, so excited for it, and I have decided to do reactions myself, and I'm just going to upload them here just for you guys in case you want to see my reaction. But I'm like sad but excited for it to come out. They had little promos come out today of all of them and it was literally the cutest thing ever, and I'm just so excited. And then also Red, White or Royal Blue comes out as well on the 11th of August, and I'm excited, but I'm also like, I'm just trying not to have high expectations, because if you guys haven't seen, there's been a bit of just a little bit of controversy around it. Not necessarily like that something happened, but just the actors who have been casted to play it very much give straight dude bro. And if you've read Red, White or Royal Blue, it's very much not that, so it is a little bit concerning. But the teaser came out and they were pretty cute in that, so I'm hoping they can pull it off. But it's just different when, like, I feel like characters aren't, especially when it comes to queer TV shows, like if the actors are not queer themselves, I feel like it's a bit harder to portray the very authentic experience that is being queer. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know their sexuality, so I shouldn't assume that either. But from their interviews and stuff, they seem like good friends, but they just don't give off like Kit Connor and Joe Locke vibes, you know, which I shouldn't be comparing it to that, but it's just hard when you have such good representation and such good portrayals of queer experiences. It's kind of hard to then go to people that seem like they belong in a frat. So like, I know that's so mean, but it's so true. I'm like, and not in the cute Saxon James way either. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm hoping it's really good because I love the book. So even if it's not, we still have the book. But I'm just fingers crossed it is good and they have good chemistry. That's what I need. Just some good chemistry from them and we'll be great to go. And then also Aristotle and Dante comes out this year as well, which that looks really good. That looks really nice and authentic. I like the look of that so far. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a catch up. What I've been reading. The main book of this reading vlog is They Hate Each Other. I'm really enjoying it. Would recommend checking it out if you're just wanting like a nice, sweet romance about two characters figuring their life out. would recommend, even though like I'm just like near halfway, so like I haven't finished it, but I still would recommend it so far. So that's what I'm gonna go continue reading, and I'll catch you guys sometime soon, who knows when. Hopefully like tomorrow, or maybe not Friday or Saturday, because I'm gonna be busy eating and shopping to my heart's content, and then on my birthday I'm gonna be eating. So I don't know if you guys want to see that. I get too shy to without a camera in public, so I probably won't film anything, but I'll see you guys later. Bye. I do have like teeth whitening things on, so if I have a bit of a lisp, that's why. But I actually did just finish They Hate Each Other, and it was so cute. I loved it. It was so good. I almost cried. I didn't quite cry, but I was close to. So like I said, we have Jonah, who has quite a hard family situation, and he's very much taken on board all the responsibility for his siblings, and definitely has a very hard time with accepting outside help, and is quite stubborn, but that comes from doing it on your own for so long, and that fear of having your siblings taken away. Like, it's a situation that is very sad, but I think a lot of people go through, and it very much reminded me of like Shameless, if any of you guys have seen that TV show. Not quite to the extent of that show, but that similar situation of just not wanting to lose your siblings, but knowing you can't, like, you're a child yourself, like you can't be taking care of them to the extent they need because you're a child and you're still just meant to be going to school and sorting out your future, not looking after everyone else. And so the tension point has to do with that, but it all worked out in the end. And so Dylan, he also ended up repairing things with his brother, and I loved seeing that, and then just seeing him work on himself by going back to his therapist and talking to his mum, and not forgiving her in one instance, but saying like, this is something we need to actively work towards because of something that happened with his brother and his uncle, which wasn't really talked about a lot, just briefly. And then we kind of get them at different points over a period of months adjusting to these new aspects in their life, and they're not together. They do break up due to the tension point, obviously, but then they do get back together slowly, and I loved it. And then we got the ending, and it was just so beautiful because it felt more realistic. Like, they obviously have known each other and disliked each other for a long time, and then they were kind of fake dating for like around a month, and then they had months apart from each other, really worked on themselves and their situations, and then they were together for 4 months by the end of the book that we'd seen, and that's when they said I love you, and that's when they first had sex. And I just thought that was so sweet and realistic in terms of like relationships, especially in high school. Like, I obviously like love my more older, darker MM books, however books like this just like have a special place to me because it's not just smut, and I love that. Like, you didn't even get the smut scene in this book, and I love that. So if you need smut, probably not for you, but if you love like kisses and the build up and cuddles and them saying I love you and then discussing having sex for the first time, you'd really like it. But yeah, I just love them as characters. I really liked the friendships. I liked each character's underlying kind of issues that are pretty realistic and people face. I would say the only thing that maybe like it shouldn't be advertised as enemies to lovers per se, because they definitely didn't have like a strong, they did have a strong dislike, but I wouldn't say it was like a strong hatred, and it definitely wasn't like strong enemies over anything in particular, when our two characters in enemies to lovers are enemies for a reason. Like in fantasy books and sports books, they tend to work the best. And so while their dislike for each other was there, it definitely wasn't like enemies to lovers. It definitely wasn't like hatred. Like it was just a dislike of each other's certain personality traits, but not a strong enemies to lovers, that's for sure. However, it was still really cute. It's just if you're looking for like a strong enemies to lovers, this isn't that, but it was still really beautiful and I really enjoyed it, and I've read it in a day, which is good because I've been reading different books but I just haven't finished anything, so I'm really glad I finished that. I give it about a 4 stars. Like I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cute, really sweet, and I liked that there was depth there still, and it had real life issues and experiences and didn't lack in that. And then I liked them as characters. Oh, hello. Oh, I hate when it does this. Truly do. I hope that whole clip isn't blurry. But yeah, I really enjoyed it overall, so 4 stars. And yeah, I finished that quicker than I thought. I was scared I wouldn't get it finished by the end of the week, but that was not the case. This is the first physical book I've read in a long time, and I could tell because my arm that did all the flipping is like sore, which is so embarrassing. But I'm definitely excited to go back to my iPad, which is so bad because I'm like, I love physical books and I really like reading them. I just hate because I read in bed and I lay down. Like I had to have like a whole separate like setup of different pillows and my arm's sore, but that's such a little first world issue, so just completely ignore that. But anyway, that is a physical book. Is this my first physical book of the year? You know, I think this is the first physical book I've read this year. That's embarrassing. That's really bad. Anyway, I've done it and I really liked it. And so now I'm just going to continue on the books I have at the library before I continue with I Kissed Sara Wheeler, just because they have due dates and I want to read them before their due dates, obviously. So this reading vlog might be a bit longer than I anticipated. I'm going to try and not make it like a 50-minute one, but I was just going to do this one book. However, it's still probably like 30 minutes though. I'll see. If I finish any more books before the end of this week, I will continue updating you guys. But that's the main book I wanted to let you know about. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys at a different date. Let me show you how cute my cat looks though. She looks so cute. Look at her. Like, you're joking. She's the cutest thing ever.